Okay, so a couple quick examples I want to zip through, and then I'll let you guys work on the assignment, which is available. Put everything away, earbuds, phones, all that good stuff. So we're working with point slope formula, right, from yesterday. We know the ingredients for point slope formula are the coordinates of a point and a slope. And if we need to, we can calculate the slope from the the coordinates of 2 points, like in this case. And we did one like this yesterday. Okay, so if I calculate my slope here, you guys tell me exactly what to subtract on the top and on the bottom. What am I going to subtract on the top? Okay, but so just numbers. Okay, good. -3 minus -3 gives me 0 on the top. Okay, on the bottom, I'm going to get what? -2 plus 8. Minus negative is plus 8, and that's 6. What's 0 divided by any non-zero number? 0. Okay, so when we plug stuff then into the point slope formula, which point do you want to use? Probably this one because it's got slightly smaller coordinates. Might as well, right? What are we going to get then? We're going to get y minus what? -3. So y plus 3 equals m, which is 0 times x plus 2. But we don't even really care because 0 times anything is what? 0. Okay, so we get y plus 3 equals 0. So if we isolate y, what do we get? -3. Okay, give me thumbs. Is that in point slope form or in slope intercept form, mx plus b? It definitely is. We solve for y, so it's in, if y is isolated, it's in slope intercept form. That is in the form y equals mx plus b. It is. What's m? 0. Well, if the x term doesn't show up, then it must be because m is 0, right? Which it was, right? So it is in slope-intercept form. It's just that the slope is 0. Y-intercept, of course, is what? What's the y-intercept? -3, yeah, okay. Right, so then show me with your arms, what kind of, now think for a second before you do it. What kind of line is this? You're right, it's this way, isn't it, right? It's got to be horizontal because it's got a y-intercept of -3. Only a horizontal line, not a vertical. A vertical line would never have a y-intercept. It would be parallel to the y-axis and never cross it, right? So it's got to be horizontal. Okay, how about a similar one? Let's just zip through this one. Would you guys agree if I calculate my slope and I do right value minus left value, y is on the top, I get 12 minus 5. X is on the bottom, I get 2 minus 2. What happened there? What kind of slope is that? Undefined. Yeah, we can't divide by 0. I got 0 from 2 minus 2, right? Okay, so if the slope is undefined, I can't plug this into point slope form because undefined is not a slope, right? That's not a slope. That's not a number I can plug in. So we can't use point slope formula. We have to just reason through this one another way. Well, if the slope is undefined, what kind of line is this? Yeah, it's got to be one like this, doesn't it, right? Undefined slope means vertical line, doesn't it? So this is a vertical line. How do we always write the equation of a vertical line? How does it always start? X equals what number in this case? What is it? Look at your points. 2, exactly. X equals 2 because look at the x coordinates, right? The points on this line all are going to line up vertically and their x coordinates are 2. Remember what we said the other day. How do we name a vertical line? By its x coordinates. X equals 2. That's our line. Yes, sir.
So you said a vertical line doesn't have a y-intercept.
Right.
X is 0, but that's still not.
Okay, well, if x is 0, then every point would be a would be a y-intercept, yeah. So, I mean, x equals 0 is just the y-axis. Yeah, okay. You're right. But that's kind of an odd case where is it really a y-intercept? I mean, not really, because it's not cutting through the y-axis. It's just the y-axis itself, okay? All right, so then what about one like this? These are all the exact same question, by the way. They're just asked in increasingly sneaky ways, each of these problems. This is the very same problem you've been doing. It's just a point slope problem, but you got to think about how you're going to get the point and the slope out of this one, okay? So let's read through this together, and you got to really pay attention to these. Write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through the blue point, 6, 4, parallel to the line that passes through the red points. So you guys give me thumbs on this, thumbs up or down. The point 6, 4 is on my line. Yeah, it tells me right there, it passes through that point. Thumbs up or down. Negative 9, 8 is on my line.
Boom.
Down is right, because that's not on my line. My line is parallel to this other line that passes through those 2 points, right? So here's the picture that we get. Something like that. Okay, where I've got this blue point, and I want to find the equation of a line through the blue point parallel to this other red line through 2 other points that are not on my line. Okay, give me thumbs on that. Does that make sense, what we're doing here? Okay, but we still need to do essentially the same stuff. We still have to be able to plug values into my starting point, which is point slope form, which is what? Y minus, what's point slope formula? You guys all need to know this. So you probably know it by now already. We've used it enough.
Y minus
Y1 equals,
x times
x minus x.
there you go, okay? So there's point slope form. We have some stuff we can already plug in. What can we plug in?
the y wanted.
Okay, yeah, so what are x1 and y1?
Negative 9 and 8.
No,
9 and negative 4. 9 and 8. No.
it has to be a point on our line.
8. 6 and 4.
So it's got to be 6 and 4, right? These points I can't plug those into point slope because those aren't points on my line. Right? The ingredients for point slope, I have to have a point on my line and the slope of my line. So the red points won't work, but the blue one will. So I could plug 6 in for x1 and 4 in for y1. I don't have a slope, though. How am I going to get a slope? What could I do? What do you think, Brandon?
Find the slope of the red line. If they're parallel, they have to have the same slope.
Okay, right? If they're parallel lines, they have to have equal slopes then, right? So by finding the slope of the red line, I am in effect finding the slope of my line also, because they're the same, right? Okay, let's do that. So the slope of the red line is what minus what on the top?
9 plus
I got to get the y coordinates on the top, not the x coordinates, right? So negative 4 minus negative 8, which gives me 4 on the top. Oh, whoops. Oh, minus negative 8. You're right. Got to go back. Okay, on the bottom, I get
9 minus negative 9.
okay, which is 18. And so let's see, negative over positive is what? Negative, so I get a negative fraction. 12 over 18 reduces to 2/3. There we go. So there's my slope. And now it's just plug and chug, right? So I get y minus 4 equals negative 2/3 times x minus 6. That's point slope form. I'm done with point slope form. Now I've got to convert to slope intercept. What are the 2 steps in order? Distribute. So we always have to distribute that slope. And that's going to give me y minus 4 equals negative 2/3 x. Negative times negative is positive. What is 2/3 of 6? 2/3 of 6. 4, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. And I could multiply 2/3 times 6/1 and do. I could go through the math if I wanted to, but you can kind of think about that one, right? If I break 6 into 3 parts, there'd be 2, 2, and 2. So 2 of those parts would be 4. Yeah. Last step, add 4. Okay, and then we get for our answer y equals negative 2/3 x plus 8. Give me thumbs. How's that? Okay. All right, last one, same kind of problem, only you got to really pay attention to this one. There's our answer. That's what it would look like. Okay, how about this one? Same kind of thing. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. It's supposed to be in, not is. In slope-intercept form for the line passing through this point perpendicular to this line. Okay? So I've got a point. I've got my values of x1 and y1, right? How am I going to get a slope? How am I going to get a slope out of this? Say it again.
Like -2/1.
Okay, so there's one thing we know, isn't it? We know the slope of this line is negative 2/1. So what's it going to be? 1/2, exactly. Because my line needs to be perpendicular to that one, right? What do we know about perpendicular slopes? We got to switch the sign, flip the fraction, opposite reciprocal. So we're gonna switch the sign. And that's our sign for perpendicular. It's just an upside down capital T. We make it a subscript. Like if I want to do m perpendicular, then I'm going to make that positive and I flip the fraction and I get 1/2. And so then all I've got to do is just plug that stuff into point slope. So y minus negative 4 equals m, which is 1/2 times x minus 12, right? And then I would just, what are my 2 steps here? We don't even have to finish it. What would my 2 steps be? Distribute and add 4. Let's go ahead and do it. Just take a second. So if I distribute, I get y plus 4 equals 1/2 x minus 6. And then you told me add. So I'm going to add 4. Subtract 4, I mean. I was just seeing if you're on your feet there. Whoops. Uh-oh. Good job. You passed the test there. That's not what I was doing. I was just not paying attention. So then I get y by itself equals what? 1/2 x. You can't read that, can you? Oh my goodness. Let's get this so it's legible for our notes. So 1/2 x minus 10. There it is. Give me thumbs. Off you go to the races. Assignment's up there. Have at it.